Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm finishes feeding his hens. He's already thinking of the beer waiting for him in the kitchen. Soon, his lantern can be seen swaying as he walks back to the farmhouse. Old Major, the prize boar, has called the animals to gather in the barn. Major explains his dream. It is the anthem of animals who long to be free. A couple of pellets from Mr. Jones' shotgun bury themselves in the barn wall. No one is hurt, but it's a near thing. 3 days later, Old Major dies in his sleep. He's buried at the bottom of the orchard. The farmhands have never seen animals like this. They've all fled. Jones is left on his own. Jones runs away. After the battle, the boxer does recover from his wounds, gradually. When she sees what has happened, Mrs. Jones packs a bag and flees. Not a single human being remains on the farm. Any animal strong enough may volunteer until Napoleon calls a halt to the work. The animals work hard all day long. The animals themselves are happy, but exhausted. Together, they name the 7 laws of animalism. After the meeting, Squealer begins painting the new laws on the wall of the barn. This is the beginning of animalism on the farm. If anyone forgets, the chanting of the sheep will remind them. Sometime later, The animals discover what is happening to the milk. It is being mixed into the pig's feed. The sheep wake in the morning. The rats are active on the farm, though they don't do much work. Naturally, that does not stop them helping themselves to the supplies. The hens wake, well and happy in their hutch. Summer progresses, and the fields dark. The sun rises over the summer fields. The sun rises over the summer fields. The neighboring farmers often talk about the goings-on at Animal Farm. In the pub, they talk in such loud voices that the birds can hear them outside. In all the nearby farms, word spreads about the state of affairs in Animal Farm. Mr. Jones's neighbors make fun of him for losing his farm to his own animals. There is more leisure for all the animals than under Jones, even with all... The rats are active on the farm, though they don't do much work. Naturally, that does not stop them helping themselves to the supplies. Summer is at the most hot and dry. Summer becomes... Now is the time of year when neighboring farmers cut the hedges. It is too cold to graze any longer. It rains heavily for some days. The roof of the barn leaks. The weather turns bitter. The snow covers the farm. One day, the birds land in the farmyard in a wild excitement. All of the surviving animals head back towards the farm. After the battle, the pigs bury Snowball in the orchard. The funeral ends with a parade. The icy weather and snow damage some of the buildings. The animals shiver through the beginning of January. Animal Farm the pigs have lost one of their most clever leaders in Snowball. Every Sunday, the time has come again for gathering in the hay. All the Animal Farm rats have died out, and rumors about the conditions there keep away any newcomers. The sheep wake in the morning. The project of teaching the animals to read. July turns into August. The sun rises over the summer fields. The animals notice that they're going to need more supplies soon. Nails, string, dog biscuits, iron to shoe the horses. A few days later, a man by the name of Whimper is seen on every Monday. No one dares to be seen away from. The hens wake, well and happy in their hutch. Once again, it is October. The harvest should have been brought in long ago. It is only now that the animals can begin the work. The weather turns bitter. The snow covers the farm. Another winter damages the farm buildings. Shingles come off the roofs, and the barn develops a leak. The whole farm is divided on the matter of the windmill. The time has come again for gathering in the hay. A few weeks later, Napoleon announces it's time. The roof leaks during spring rain. There is a good quarry of limestone on the farm, enough for the windmill. Midsummer comes and goes. The project of teaching the animals to read. The sun rises over the summer fields. The apples are now ripening, and there are windfalls in the orchard. The animals have assumed that these will be shared out equally. The animals will need machinery to finish the windmill. There is a lively debate about how to speed along the work. It is a very bright morning. Molly is seen repeatedly at the fence of the neighboring farm. The farmhands are feeding it sugar. The hens wake, well and happy in their hutch. During this time, the pigs move into the farmhouse to live. Several animals remember passing a resolution against living in the house. The pigs not only take their meals in the kitchen, but sleep in the beds. By autumn, the windmill has been fully built. One night, there is a violent gale. It blows tiles off the barn roof. In the morning, Animal Farm borders two other farms. Its owner, Mr. Pilkington, is an easygoing gentleman farmer. Frederick is always involved in a lawsuit with someone. The harvest should have been brought in long ago. It is only now that the animals can begin the work. The days are getting shorter and colder as December comes in. It is late in the year. The winter wheat should already be in the ground. In January, there comes bitterly hard weather. The earth is like iron, and nothing can be done in the fields. Napoleon sits at the front of the barn. His highest priority is to complete the windmill. The time has come again for gathering in the hay. Rules and ration. No one dares to be seen away from. The walls of the windmill are rebuilt to be 3 feet thick this time. Much larger quantities of stone are required. It is back. Once again, summer is passing. The sun rises over the summer fields. Mr. Jones has moved away from the counter, but the other farmers still meet to talk about Animal Farm. The hay has all been gathered in. The animals choose who will work the harvest. The dogs wake up full of energy. It is announced that the pigs will get up an hour later than other animals. Autumn arrives to find the windmill more than half built. It is October. It rains very heavily. The farmhouse roof is in poor condition, and the pigs are flooded. In the autumn, the 4 sows all litter simultaneously. Napoleon is the only... The weather turns bitter. The snow covers the farm. The days are getting shorter and colder as December comes in. The fields are still not plowed, and this work has to be done in darkness. It is late in the year. The winter wheat should already be in the ground. One morning, the animals are at breakfast when the lookouts come in. Frederick and After a few minutes, the farmhands run in all directions. The rations were already reduced in December. They are reduced again in February, and lamps are forbidden in the barn. The animals have all starved to death. A distant cousin of Mr. Jones will live on it. The rations were already reduced in December. Beasts of England, beasts of Ireland.